Hello, good evening, lovely people. I hope you're well. I hope that you've had a good Sunday so far. You've had a good week so far. And I hope that you're all well. Thank you again for tuning in to one of these Instagram live sessions. Hello. Lovely to have you. Thank you so much for joining. How is everybody? I hope you're all well. I do recognize so many of the names. It's so nice to see the same names coming back week after week. Great. Learning is really difficult. Okay. Very good. وای شما سفره هفسین داری. Yes. I hope I've done it justice. I hope I've done it justice. I hope I've done you justice. I'm going to write that down and then I'm going to tell you what it means. I hope I've done it meaning Nowruz, justice. I hope I've done it justice, which means I hope I've done it right. I mean, I usually do, some kind of Nowruz hafseen every year, but there's one thing missing at the moment, and that is like a clock or something. I'm definitely going to have to put a clock or something somewhere on one of the 3 shelves. But apart from that, everything else should really be there, hopefully. So that's my hafseen. And I hope that you have your own hafseen nice and ready. If not, you're going to get it ready soon, hopefully. And you'll be ready for the new year as well. Atife, I hope I've done it justice. I hope I've done it right. Fantastic. Thank you very much. I hope I've done it justice. Yes, very good. So it means I hope I've done it right. Yeah. We can even use it for people. I hope I've done you justice, which means, for example, you really helped me. You gave me a lot of advice. I used your help. I used your advice to go and achieve something. And hopefully I've done it right. Hopefully I've made you proud. I hope I've done you justice. That's basically what it means. So we can use it for it. We can use it for a person as well. Yes. I won't lie. I really enjoyed, decorating these 3 shelves very much. Really enjoyed it. Loved it. There's a reason why, it's just such a very phenomenal celebration all over the world, and this is something that I didn't know. I only learnt recently that apparently the very first civilization, the very first people that started decorating for their new year were Iranians. I didn't know this, right? And this is something that I learned. And so after this is when Christians started decorating their Christmas tree, and all the other cultures and all the other religions also started doing their things. But the people that started it all by decorating a certain area to mark the start of the new year were Iranians, right? I didn't know this. That's my ignorance, I'm afraid. But I'm really happy that I learnt that. It just, makes me even more proud of my father's gene inside of me, my Iranian half. Very good. شما خیلی شبیه انگلیسی هستیم. Thank you, Samira. Right, yes. There are some people who want to be in my live session tonight. I don't see why not. Let's give it a go, right? Let's see if it works. Hopefully it'll work. Let's take a look and see. At the minute, it's not letting me. I don't know why. What is the reference for this? What's the reference for what? I don't know what you mean. I'm so sorry. If you could clarify that, I'd really appreciate it. I'm so sorry, guys. It's not letting me let you in. Apologies for that. So I'll try again in a few minutes because I'd love to talk to you as well. I don't know what's going on. You're the best. You're the best. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining my live. Because, I mean, in all honesty, راست و حقیقتش, in all honesty, راست و حقیقتش. In all honesty, you guys can be doing other things, can't you? This time on a Sunday, you could be taking a nap, you could be going out and meeting up with your friends, you could be, you know, watching Netflix or watching TV, you could be scrolling on your phone. There are lots of other things you could be doing, but instead you've taken the time, thank you, and you've come and joined this session, not just tonight, but you do it almost every Sunday. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. من میخوام شرکت کنم کلاس های شما. میتوان کمک کنین لطفاً چجوری هست؟ Yes, yes. In all honesty, راست حقیقتش. Yes, in all honesty. Very good. Where do you live, Leila? I live in Manchester. میشه بگوین صبح بیدار شدن به انگلیسی چی میشه؟ Get up, get up. You mean reference for Iranians bring the first to decorate for New Year? Yes, yes. So this is where I heard this, that the first civilians, the first people who celebrated the beginning of the New Year by decorating, you know, having symbols of different things were actually Iranians. They were the ones, you know, all the things that we use, the sumac that we use for, you know, the sun, and then all the other things that we use, the pudding, which is for the sweetness, the fish, which is for life, the sabzeh, which obviously is for, you know, growth and prosperity and all these kind of things. These things, the coin, I guess, which is for wealth, and then you've got the garlic for health, you've got the apple for beauty, all these kind of things. You see that each of them is a symbol of something, and all of them are present at the sofre, which means you hope all of these things will happen in your life and also in other people's lives. And I think that's just wonderful. It's beautiful. I can't think of any other country, any other culture that has all of this, all of these truly meaningful things that they wish for each other, right? I mean, Christians all over the world, oh, Happy New Year, you know, I hope you have a good New Year. They give each other Christmas presents. But that's not the same, is it, as Nowruz, when you wish each other health, you wish happiness, you wish prosperity for one another. That's on a different level altogether. So, wow, it's really nice. Okay, very good. Now, one of our very good friends asked about my courses. Can you please explain have seen in English? I'll try. I'll try. One of our friends just asked about my courses. Yesterday, I put a video up on my Instagram page, and I informed you all that there is a link in my bio. If you click on that link, you'll be able to register for free to be able to be on a waiting list. What's this waiting list for? The waiting list is for a course. I'm not going to call it a complete course, no, because a complete course is not something that's in one course. I'm going to call it a comprehensive course, which means it's quite a lot. So there is one comprehensive course I've created, which is for beginners to intermediate English. And it doesn't just teach vocabulary and grammar, it goes far beyond all of that. So it teaches you how to actually have conversations. And in the way that I talk and in the way that I teach on these courses, I give you real life examples of how you can use the vocabulary, the grammar, the idioms, etc. in real life situations. So if you do want to benefit from this course, don't forget please to just register for free on the waiting list, okay? And you'll find the link in my bio. If you're having difficulty finding the link, or for whatever reason, I know from Iran, some people were having issues, do let me know. And I'll be able to hopefully help you in the direct maybe. Okay. Right. Very good. It goes far beyond. It goes far beyond. Yes, very good. Okay. Let's see. Have I missed something? Right. Okay. Prosperity and rebirth. Explain have seen in English. Explain have seen in English. So I'm guessing this is for somebody who wants to explain have seen maybe to your to your colleagues or to people at a college maybe, or somewhere like that. I don't know. So the way I usually explain it, or the way I taught my kids to explain it at school, because when they were really young, it was very important to me that my kids knew about Hafseen even when they were very, very young. We would have a Hafseen from when my daughter was 3 years old. We would have a Hafseen in any country I was living in, and I would take pictures of each and every item on the Hafseen, and I would write the name of it, obviously in English. I'd write the Persian name of it, and I'd write the phonetic of how you pronounce it, so my kids knew how to pronounce it, right? So this is Sib, this is Sir, this is Serke, you know, writing it with English alphabet. And then I would tell them very briefly what it is for and why we use it at the sofre. So, I mentioned all these things a few minutes ago, that we have sabze, which is the symbol of growth, you know, which is green, beauty, growth, all of that. More importantly, you've got garlic, which is used for lots of ailments, lots of illnesses, and that's a sign of health, if I'm not mistaken. You've got a lovely red apple that I've got right there. I don't know if you can see it right there on the middle shelf. I've got one apple. Usually I'd like to have more apples, but as you can see, I hardly had any space. So I had to put one apple next to one garlic. And the red apple is a symbol of beauty. And the interesting thing is, I don't know if anybody's noticed, but if any of you have seen the cartoon Snow White, yeah, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, if you remember, there is a red apple that is used in the cartoon of Snow White, and the red apple is very significant. It's given to Snow White by this horrible witch. Have this red apple, obviously you're beautiful, you are Snow White, you're famous for being beautiful. This is a lovely red apple, have this, that will add that will add to your beauty. So the Iranian symbol of a red apple being beautiful is even used in Disney cartoons, which is really interesting, isn't it? You know, because the witch could have given Snow White a green apple, could have given Snow White a banana, you know. Why did it have to be a red apple? So that's what I'm thinking. The creators of Snow White, Walt Disney, and I think Snow White was one of his earlier cartoons, even used the beauty of the apple in Disney cartoons as well. So that's how far back it goes, which is really interesting. So that's that. And then you've got the somak, which is somar, which is the symbol of sunrise and all that kind of thing. I feel like I'm teaching a grandmother how to suck eggs. Let me write that down and I'll tell you what it means. I feel like I'm teaching a grandmother how to suck eggs. Okay, that's an idiom that we use. What does it mean? If you think about it, excuse me, if you think about it, a grandmother is a lady who's been alive, who's been on this planet for years and years and years. So a grandmother is very wise, very experienced. One of the easiest things that any human being can eat is an egg, right? So to teach somebody to suck eggs, it means you're teaching somebody very, very knowledgeable, very wise. You're teaching this person to do something very, very simple, very basic. And that's what I feel I'm doing here. I am telling you, all the professionals, about Nowruz. I think it should be the other way around, right? So hopefully, anyway, what I told you about that is right. Also, you can see I've got my hafiz at the top. On the third shelf, I've got some dry shirini, which I think is one of the nicest sweets and, you know, baked goods that you can ever find anywhere in the world. Even though if you ask many people, they will say that they love Danish. In Farsi we say Danmarki, yeah? They love Danish, but I actually believe that the Persian sweets, the dry ones, are actually much, much nicer than Danish. Come on, you know. So yes, that's where we are. I've got my coins here. I've got my candle here and it's got a little fish on it. I've got my pudding here and I've got the other one over here. I've got my, that one is my vinegar. The middle supposedly is my ojil, my nuts and everything. That one is my somak, and then I've got the rest of it up there. So hopefully everything is there and hopefully you're happy. I'm feeling that I'm teaching you how to suck eggs. Yes, yes. Let's see. از ایرانی های کشور بهتر فارسی حرف میزنی شما. درود بر پدر یا مادر ایرانیتون. Thank you so much. I don't think I speak better than you, not at all, but that's a very nice compliment. I really appreciate that. Thank you. My father is Persian, yes. And it was very important to my father from a very beginning, from a very young age, that myself and my siblings, we all can speak Farsi, no matter what country we live in. It was very important to him, and I'm so happy that he pushed for us to be able to speak Farsi, not just because it's really good for the cognitive health, you know, for the brain. It's very good if you can speak 2 or more languages, but Farsi, I think, is in my opinion, it's a lovely, lovely language. It is very respectful. I find Farsi is one of the most respectful languages ever. It's very difficult, I think, for somebody to be rude in Farsi because it's so respectful, you know. You've got you for single, and then you've got you, the respectful you for so many people. And it's just a lovely, poetic, very respectful language. Absolutely. Okay. How many siblings do you have? I come from quite a large family, actually. I've got 4 siblings. Yeah, large family. Do you have privacy teaching? Do I have private lessons? I do not, unfortunately. I don't. But if you stay on my page, on my Instagram page, you will find that I've got like a leaflet. And one of my fantastic, very, very good friends is a teacher, and she teaches privately. So you'll be able to find the information on my page. Very good. Okay, lovely. Now, one more thing I wanted to mention, and that was روزتونو بشکنید azane. Okay, very good. If anyone's fasting, go ahead. I hope that, yeah, it was a good fast. I don't know what to say, but I hope it was a good fast. One thing I want to add, and that is that we're creeping up. We're creeping up to the new year. Creeping up, that means very, very slowly, we're moving towards the new year, right? We're creeping up to the new year. And whenever we have a new year coming up, people start reflecting. They start thinking about the year that's just gone and the year ahead. And there are all different kinds of thoughts and emotions that go on in people's heads and hearts, right? If anybody sadly has lost a loved one, they start thinking about the loved ones that, you know, the loved ones will not be with us in the following year, but at least let's celebrate the time that they were alive. Let's think about their life and how they impacted our lives in a good way. If anybody is planning anything for the years to come, then they start planning in their head, don't they, what it is they want to achieve in the coming year, what it is they want to learn and do and improve in the coming year. And everybody obviously wants to improve something. You might have a certain skill that you want to improve. It could be learning English. It could be learning a certain kind of skill, like, I don't know, how to fix a car. It could be how to do gardening. It could be cooking. It could be, you know, anything to do with construction. It could be absolutely anything, any kind of skill that you want to improve. How can we do this? How can we help ourselves to improve in certain areas? And I've really thought about this a lot because I myself really want to improve on being a good mum for my kids. That's one thing I really want to improve on as much as possible. I've got 2 teenagers, as you may know, And dealing with teenagers is not easy. So you do need to give them the boundary and the respect. But at the same time, you want to help shape them into responsible, respectable human beings, because you are responsible for giving them to society, right? So that's one skill that I want to try and improve on, to become a better communicator with my teenagers. Everybody has their own motive, their own reason for wanting to improve in their lives. And I was thinking, what is it? What is the one factor that helps us to succeed in our improvement? Is it intelligence? Is it good genes in our DNA? Or is it desire? Right? Which of these is it? And I've thought about it a lot. Obviously, I've listened to lots of podcasts. I've read lots of books. That what is it that helps you achieve your goal above everything else? Is it discipline? Is it motivation? Is it paying for, really expensive courses? Is it having a really good teacher? What is it that helps you succeed? And I've come to the conclusion that the one thing that really, really helps people succeed is the desire, the hunger, or the thirst to want to do something really, really well. Okay, I'm going to give you an example. There is a lovely, lovely lady who I have come to know. I've come to know this lovely lady. She lives in the UK. I've known her for a few years now. I'd say for about maybe 3-4 years I've known her. And we used to, practice English together. And I remember initially when I got to know this lady, she's an Iranian lady, lovely lady. Initially when I got to know her, her English was average. She was going to college, she was attending college, and she was doing okay. And the English that she was using in her conversation was very normal English that you learn from college, and everything was normal. And she was very interested in learning idioms from me. So I taught her a couple of idioms. Next time I had a conversation with her, she gave me those idioms back in her conversation in the perfect time and manner. She was able to use the idioms perfectly well. And I said, wow, that's really good. So then I started obviously teaching her more idioms. And she would inhale these idioms. That's an idiom as well. It means she loved them. She would inhale these idioms and she'd go out and use them, when she was either talking to her friends or groups of people or hanging out or whatever. And the response that she saw from these, British people, wow, that's a nice idiom. Where did you learn that from? That gave her the motivation, the need, the desire to want to learn even more. And today she knows so many idioms. She uses them in the best possible way. She uses them in such a timely manner. Timely, it means the right time, yeah? She uses these idioms in such a timely manner that she has told me herself, a lot of Brits are shocked. Oh my God, how do you know that idiom? That's so British, And the reason for that is not because, obviously she's a very, very intelligent, very, very smart lady, but it's not just that. It's the desire, it's the want of wanting to learn something. If you think back to when you were younger, you're already young, I'm sure, but when you were younger, what was it that you really, really wanted to do? You desperately wanted to do this. What was it? Was it having a certain skill? Was it passing a certain test? Was it looking a certain way? What was it that you really, really wanted to achieve? And if you did finally achieve it, what was it that helped you achieve it? I'm guessing it was a lot of hard work, right? What is it that helps us stay up at night and work endless hours, even though we're exhausted? What is it that helps us push forward, even though our friends are going out, even though there's a lovely movie on TV, even though everyone's relaxing? I'm still sitting there working really, really hard because I want to achieve my goal. All of these come down to how much we desire something. So if we desire something strong enough, we will get it, because the want, I think, is one of the strongest things, one of the strongest, most powerful things that we have in this world. I used to teach English in a language institute in Tehran, years ago. I was still a teenager. Excuse me. I was 18, 19 years old. I was teaching English in Tehran, I know. I wasn't qualified, but they said, come and teach. Your mum's British, you speak English, so come and teach. So I did. And there was a lovely high school girl who was in one of my classes. And she said to me one day, she said, because I could see she was really struggling with her English. She wasn't getting good marks and she wasn't enjoying the lesson at all. So I pulled her aside one day and I said, what's wrong? What is it? You're not in it. You don't feel like part of the lesson. Is there something I can do to help? And she said, well, to be honest with you, the only reason why I'm doing English is because my mum is forcing me. I don't actually like English. My mum is forcing me to do English. And I felt so bad. I felt so sorry for this young lady. And I said to her, if it's something that you're being forced to do, most probably you're going to give it up very soon. It has to come from you. The desire has to be your desire, not somebody else's. The wish has to be your wish, not somebody else's, because this is your life. You decide what you want to do with your life. And if you don't enjoy studying English, you might just pass, but that doesn't mean that you're going to be really, successful in it. So why don't you go back and think about why you want to study English and see if you can come up with that hunger that will help you. Yeah. So all I'm trying to say is we're on the doorstep of the new year. What is it that we want to improve? What is it that we want to achieve in this next new year? And whatever it is we want to achieve, do we have the desire for it? Why do I want to achieve it? Is it just so I can show off in front of my friends and family? Or is it because I want it? If it's because I want it, then most probably I'll get it because I'm prepared to go through anything. So it's a good question to ask ourselves. Is that right? Okay. Lovely. So Saide, sorry. How many children do you have? Is this a question about me? Okay, 2 kids. I've got 2 kids, 2 teenagers, and I love them more than life itself. That's an idiom. I love my kids more than life itself. That's usually what we say about kids. And do you live in London? No. I love you. You are friendly. Happy New Year in advance. Thank you, Saida. That's very nice of you. Happy New Year to you too. I wish you and your loved ones the very best for this new year. Very good. Right. Let me see if my Instagram will let me. It is not letting me, people. I'm so sorry. I'm not doing this on purpose. It's just not letting me let you in. I don't know what's going on. A lot of breeds. I don't know what that is. On the doorstep of New Year. Yeah, we're on the doorstep of the New Year. The New Year. We're on the doorstep of the New Year, which means we're very, very close to the New Year. You are my inspiration. Thank you. That's very kind of you. You're so lovely. Oh, wow. You're giving me all these compliments. Honestly, I don't deserve them at all, but you're very nice. Very, very nice. So before we wrap up, which means finish. That's a phrasal verb, right? Before we wrap up, لیلا جان لطفا این جمله رو که گفتین رو بنویسین. Oh, right, about the kids. Yeah, I'm going to write it down and I'll put it in the caption. Is that okay? On YouTube. I love my kids more than life itself. More than life itself. Okay, so obviously everybody loves life because we want to be alive, right? So we love life. But what do I love more than life? I love my kids. I love my kids more than life itself. I guess it means if I have to choose whether I should be alive or my kids, obviously I choose my kids to be alive, not me, So that's basically what it means. Necessity is the mother of invention. When you have to meet some needs, the desire is born. That's quite a meaningful sentence. Thank you very much. Yes. I love them more than life itself. Yes, Atifa, there we go. Please, a little more, take long your live. You want me to speak a little bit more. I don't want to impose on your Sunday evening, because I know you guys obviously want to get on with, you know, cleaning the house and spring cleaning and last minute things, or you might still want to do your have seen. I'm sure yours is going to look much nicer than mine. And, you know, I don't want to impose. I want you guys to get on and have your dinner and see to your family. That's why I don't want to take too much of your time. I love my family more than life itself. Farhad, absolutely, absolutely. صداتون رو صاف نکنین. چی میشه به انگلیسی؟ صداتون رو صاف نکنین. Like this, right? Okay. So صدا صاف کردن, when you do this, that's called clear your throat. Not clean, clear your throat. That's when you صاف میکنی your voice. صاف نکنین, please stop clearing your voice. We don't usually, I've never used that before, but I guess that would be the English version of it, yeah? So is the case with my son, still have to force him to learn English? That's life. Well, I think that the young lady I was talking about, she was in high school, so she was old enough to decide for herself. If your young boy, if your son is quite young, maybe he still hasn't reached that age where he can decide for himself. When our kids are really, really young, they might not like to do some things, but they have to do it, right? Because they haven't reached that maturity to be able to decide if they want to do it or not, if they need to do it or not. You know, 3-4-year-old kids, sometimes they don't like to brush their teeth. Too bad. Go up and brush your teeth. You have to. Because they haven't reached that maturity that they have to brush their teeth, or else they're going to get toothache and infection, and it's bad for them. But when kids reach a certain age where they have reached mental maturity, that's when they can decide if they want to study English, for example, or not. Yeah, I guess that's one of the things. And it's not just Iranian parents. I've seen this a lot amongst Chinese parents as well. Chinese parents obviously are very, very competitive. Chinese kids are very competitive. I'm sure you've seen lots of videos on social media or anywhere else. The lengths that people will go to make sure that their kids achieve. Okay. When I was living in America, my kids were in year 2 and year 4 of elementary school, primary school, right? That's how old, that's the age of my kids when we were in America quite a few years ago. And I would عادت برای زمان گذشته, yeah? I would pick my kids up and, you know, I'd take them to the park. Sometimes we'd go for an ice cream. Sometimes, you know, we'd go shopping. Sometimes we'd go home. Sometimes I'd take them to their other friend's house and they could play. They want to be kids, right? But some of these Chinese parents, they would come to school, they would pick their kid up from school, and from there, they would take their kid to another class, another school, to do, for example, maths practice, to do chess, shatranj practice, to do music practice, to do swimming, to do all these kind of things. And when you would talk to some of these Chinese parents, some of them said that for a child in year 4, at primary school, the child wakes up at like 7 in the morning and they start their school day from 9 in the morning. They finish their learning 9 at night. That's a kid, right? So like a 10, 11-year-old kid goes to school and starts learning from 9 in the morning until 9 at night. And my question always was, when does that kid have time to be a kid? Kids want to play. They want to make a mess. They want to ruin things. They want to experiment with things. When will that child have time to be a child, right? So you guys, you lovely parents, if you're forcing your kids to do something, it's out of love. But then there is a certain kind of love that I've seen with other nationalities that is love, but I don't know. It can be a bit too much love, if we can say that. I don't know. They're going to raise a child which has no self-awareness because they have been told to do that, to do this. Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah. چی؟ یکی یکی بگه جریان این خانم چیه؟ لوک لاک شبیه ایرانیان نیست ولی فارسی صحبت میکنه. Oh, that was amazing. That was amazing. Yes, hi, nice to meet you. I'm Layla. My father is Persian. My mother is British. I was born and raised in the UK. Nice to meet you. I usually listen to your programs and I would like... Okay, I'm waiting for the rest. We're humans, not robots. Okay, Samira. How your English speaking is so much excellent. English is my first language, but thank you. Tough love, tough love. خب امروز موضوع چیست? Yes, we've had, we were talking about Nowruz. We're talking about the fact that Nowruz is on the doorstep. We're creeping up to the new year. And when we're thinking about the new year, we're thinking about how to improve ourselves, how to become better in one way or another. And what is one of the most powerful aspects that can help us to improve? It's the desire, the want, the thirst, the hunger to want to improve. I think that's what it is. So if we want to improve in any aspect of our lives, but we don't really desire it that much, I don't think we'll get very far, or we might not succeed to the best of our ability. But if we desire it, if we really, really want it, then I think we'll get a lot further, I think. I want to register your online class. Okay, so there's a link in my bio. If you would click on that, please, that'll take you to the waiting list. استاد عزیزم شما منو یاد خواننده مورد علاقم خانم ادل Adele, yes, که ایشونم بریتانیایی هست میندازین. Adele has such a pretty voice. Oh my God, I'm not similar to Adele. She's lovely, isn't she? Thank you very much. She's wonderful, Adele. She's so down to earth. خاکی. She's so down to earth. She is so down to earth. خیلی آدم خاکی هست Adele. She'll just say everything, won't she? She's lovely. She's wonderful. She is down to earth. Down to earth. She's very khaki. She's lovely. Thank you. Nowruz Piruz. Yes, thank you. How can I explain Nowruz to my British friends? As they said, you are Muslim. I don't know about the Muslim part, but Nowruz is the traditional Persian New Year, which I believe has been around for thousands of years. Yeah, it's the start of spring, which is also the start of the new year in Farsi. Thanks, Leila Jan, for your kind heart teaching us English for nothing in return. You're so beautiful inside and out. That's very kind of you, Sarah. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. شما حس خوبی به من میدین. These are such wonderful comments. Thank you. خاکی په افتاده. Yeah. She is so down to earth. Yes. نوروزتون مبارک. And شما and you too. Thank you so much. So I'm going to call it a day. Call it a day. I'm going to call it a day. We're going to end it here. As I mentioned last week, I'm not going to be here with you for next Sunday. Next Sunday is going to be the 23rd of March. I'm sure you want your time to yourselves. You don't want, another Instagram live session with me. So there's no Instagram live next week. For the next 2 weeks, actually, because I know you've got 13 days, haven't you, for Farvardin that you want to celebrate. So for the next 2 weeks, I will not be seeing you. However, I will still be posting my normal videos and everything on Instagram. If there's a certain thing you want me to post, if there's a certain question you have, Layla, how can I say, for example, these things to my customer? How can I say these things to my kid's teacher? How can I say these things, for example, to my colleague? Do send me a message and I'll see if I can create like a little video to teach people, because if it's your question, I'm guessing it's other people's question as well. And I'd love to be able to help if I can. Okay, so wishing all of you all the very, very best for this Nowruz. And Nowruz means new day, and hopefully this year will definitely be the beginning of a very, very good year. Hopefully. Okay, thank you all so much. Nowruz Hamatun Mubarak. Thank you. Take care. Good night.